Good morning, students. Welcome to Adiman Metric Higher Secondary School Uttangarai online class. Plus 2 English, Chamachir Kalvi, Unit 4, The Submit, Part 1 was written by Edmund Hillary, prepared and presented by A. Venkatesan, Department of English. Yes, students, have you visited Ooty, Kodaikanal, Yerkad, Dotabetta, Yalgiri Hills? The question is how. The answer is either you should reach the two-wheeler or four-wheeler. Is it? Is it possible to reach Mount Everest with the help of these vehicles? No, it is impossible. While trekking, the trekkers used to wear tough cloths and spike shoes. Along with they have to carry oxygen cylinder and ice axe with them. Now you have to understand what is the lesson. It is nothing but the submit. How here the author and his companion reached the Mount Everest. Okay. About the author, Sir Edmund Percival Hillary, born in July 20, 1919 and died in January 11, 2008 at the age of 89, was a New Zealand mountaineer, explorer and a philanthropist. He served in the Royal New Zealand Air Force as a navigator during World War II. Following his ascent of Everest, Hillary devoted himself to assisting the Sherpa people of Nepal through the Himalayan Trust. His famous works are High Adventure, No Latitude for Error, Nothing Venture, Nothing Win, View from the Summit, the remarkable memoir by the first person to conquer Everest. Okay. About the gist of the lesson, this travelogue, that is the Summit, is written by the world famous trekker who touched the Mount Everest, Edmund Hillary. This is a description of the thrilling final day adventure on May 29th, that dangers and the efforts of your presence of mind faced along with the tensing from 4:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. are told in detail by Hillary. These lessons proves that perseverance, determination, and hard work will lead to success. The scene of reaching the Everest at 11:30 a.m. on the day provides pleasure and pride not only to the mountaineers but also to us. The frozen solid ice cover near the Everest are dangerous. Fissures on the way have been a great challenge for their courage. The photographic description of the Himalayan scenery around the Everest is fascinating. Now move to the lesson. Sir Edmund Hillary, one word tells how the summit of Everest was reached. On May 28, 1953, there were 6 men at the camp, 8 on the South Col. Call refers to crying out loud. Edmund Hillary, Tenzing, George Low, Alfred Gregory, and 2 Sherpas, Pemba and Ang Nima. But Pemba was too ill to climb. The others, heavily laden, climbed that day to a height of 27,900 feet. Here, Hillary and Tenzing put up a little tent and watched their 3 companions go down the ridge back towards the South Col. Here the 3 companions refers to George Low, Alfred Gregory and Annimo. Okay. As the sun set, Hillary and Tenzing crawled into the tent. They put on their warm clothing and wriggled into their sleeping bags because the sun was set. They have to protect themselves. So that's why they are using warm cloth Next morning at 4 a.m. on May 29th, they began to get ready for the climb. The first point, we started up. Here we refers to both Hillary as well as Tenzing. We started up our cooker and drank large quantities of lemon juice and sugar and followed this with our last tin of sardines or biscuits. Sardine means a kind of fish. I dragged our oxygen sets into the tent. I refers to Hillary. Cleaned the eyes of them and them rechecked and tested them. Then move to the second point. I had removed my boots. Here Hillary had removed his boots which had become wet the day before and they were now frozen solid. Both Hillary as well as Tenzing were now frozen. So here I cooked them. Hillary cooked them over the fiery flame of the Primus. Primus refers to here stove, and managed to soften them up over our down clothing. We turned our windproof and on to our hands. We pulled 3 pairs of gloves, that is silk, woolen and windproof, to protect from cold as well as snow. At 6:30 a.m., we crawled out of that tent into the snow, hoisted our 30 lb, here 30 lb refers to libra, of oxygen gear on to our backs, connected up our masks and turned on the valves to bring life-giving oxygen into our lungs. The triggers is must to carry oxygen cylinder, then only they are able to breathe. You see, that's why they have to carry. A few good deep breaths and we were ready to go, still a little worried about my cold feet. I asked Tenzing to move off. Here, I may refers to the author Hillary. Then the fourth point, Tenzing kicked steps into a long traverse. Here traverse refers to cross a mountain slope back towards the ridge, and we reached its crest where it forms a great snow bump, that is snow heap at about 28,000 feet. From here, the ridge narrowed to a knife edge. That is, the ridge looked like a knife. And as my feet were now warm, I took over the lead. After what happened? They had to move to the soft snow made a route on top of the ridge, both difficult and dangerous. While reaching that place, that ridge, they had to face both difficult as well as dangerous, which sometimes held my weight but often gave way suddenly. After several hundred feet, we came to a tiny hollow and found there the 2 oxygen bottles left on the earlier attempt by Evans and Bertillon. See, Hillary found a tiny hollow, 2 oxygen bottles that carry several hundred liters of oxygen. Okay. I scraped the ice. Scrap means to remove. And the gauges. And was relieved to find that they still contained several hundred liters of oxygen. That is enough to get us down to the South Pole if used sparingly. So while reaching that place, Hillary found a 2 oxygen cylinder that contains several hundred liters of oxygen. Okay. Then sixth point, I continued. Here I refers to what? Hillary. I continued to making the trail on up the ridge leading up for the last 400 feet to the southern summit. The snow on this face was dangerous. While reaching that place, the snow was very dangerous because we are moving up and down. It is very difficult, both breathe as well as to move. But we persisted. That is, we refers to both Hillary as well as Tenzing. They have to work hard in our efforts to beat a trail up it. Then seventh one, we made frequent changes of the lead, moving one by one followed by another. Like, as I was camping a trail in the deep snow, a section around me gave way and I slipped back through 3 or 4 of my steps. I discussed with the Tenzing the adversity of going on because they are find difficult to going up. That's why the author discussing with Tenzing, his companion. And he although admitting that he felt unhappy, both of them are not happy because they face so many difficulties. About the snow conditions and finished with his familiar praise, just as you wish. Here, Edmund Hillary asked Tenzing, what about moving further? Tenzing replied, it is your wish. Here, your refers to what? That is Edmund Hillary. Then eighth one, I decided to go on. Here, Edmund Hillary decided to go on. And we finally reached the firmer, that is very strong, snow higher up, and then chipped steps up the last steep slopes and a compound on the south peak. It was now 9 a.m. See, while trekking, the trekker is always used in spike shoes. Then only they have to moving up to the snow path, on the snow path. 9 a.m. We cut a seat for ourselves just below the south summit and removed our oxygen apparatus because they have to they have to remove the oxygen apparatus. As our first partly full bottle of oxygen was now exhausted, so they have only one bottle of oxygen cylinder. They had only one full bottle of left. Our apparatus was now much lighter, weighing just over 20 lb. As I already mentioned, lb refers to libra. And as I cut steps down off the south summit, I felt a sense of freedom and well-being. So after reaching that south summit, that is Hillary felt some sense of freedoms. 10th point, as my eyes acts, here that use the tools to moving upwards. Eyes acts. Bit into the first steep slope of the ridge, my high hopes was realized. While moving upwards with the help of this eyes, they have some hopes. The snow was crystalline as well as the firm. They were very strong. 2 or 3 blows of the ice axe produced a step large enough even for our oversized high altitude boots, and a firm thrust of the ice axe would sink it halfway up the soft, giving a solid and comfortably blade. We moved one at a time. Here we refers to both Hillary as well as Tenzing. I would cut a 40-foot line of steps. That is Hillary. I refers to Hilary. Hilary would cut a 40-foot lines of steps, Tenzing belaying here, Tenzing helping him, belaying me while I worked. While I refers to whom Hilary worked. Then, in turn, I would sink my shaft and put a few loops of the rope around it, and Tenzing, protected against a breaking step, would move up to me. Then once again, as he belayed me, I would go on cutting. While Hilary cutting the ice, Tenzing belayed him. Then move to next point. In a number of places, the overhanging ice cornices. Cornices refers to a mass of snow, ice, were very largely indeed. And in order to escape them, I cut a line of steps down to where the snow met the rocks and the west. It was a great thrill to look straight down this enormous rock. The rock was enormous, it's very big. Face and to see 8,000 feet below us. The tiny tents of a camp, 4 in the western CWM, that is, enclosed armchair shaped hollow situated at the head of the valley. Scrambling, that is climbing on the rocks and cutting handholds on the snow, we were able to shuffle past. Shuffle means confuse or disorder these difficult portions. Then what happened? On its east side was another great cornices. So both the places, both the east as well, some around the place, that is cornices are there. And running up the full 40 feet of the step was narrow crack between the cornice and the rock, leaving Tenzing to belay me as best he could. I jammed my way into this crack. This is a difficult situations because it is very difficult to move through the cornices. So that's why Hilary jammed his way to this crack. Then kicking backwards, I sank the spikes. I refers to Hilary. Hilary sank the spikes of his crampons deep into the frozen snow behind me and levered myself off the ground. So here the Hilary sank the spikes of his crampons deep into the frozen snow behind him and levered himself off the ground. So then what happened? Move to the next point. The tricking adventure of every little rock hold and all the force of knee, shoulder and arms I could muster and literally cramponed backwards up the crag, because the mountain was very steep. It's very difficult to moving upwards. Praying that the cornice would remain attached to the rock, because the rock contains full of snow. It looked like a cornice, that is a mass of snow. My progress, although slow, was steady, because the rock fully contains mass of snow. As Tenzing paid out the rope, I inched my way upwards until I could reach. So here, because of this difficult situation, Tenzing helped him. I inched my way. Hilary inched his way upwards until he could reach over the top of the rock and drag himself, that is, out of the crack onto a wild ledge. Here you have to see ice axe, ice armor, crampon. These are the tools the trigger used to moving upwards. For a few moments, I lay regaining my breath. That is, it took some nap. That is, I lay regaining my breath. And for the first time, really felt a fiery determination. And nothing now could stop us reaching on the top. So they have to get some hope. I took a firm stance on the ledge and signaled to Tenzing to come on up. So they both of them gained some hope and some strong determinations. So here Hilary signaled to Tenzing to come on. As I heaved hard on the rope, Tenzing wrestled. Wrestled means to move with a twist or twister. Way up the crack and finally collapsed at the top like a John face when it has just been hauled from the sea after a terrible struggles. See here, they have to compare how the fish struggled in the sea. Likewise, they have to struggle in the mountain. The ridge continued as before. The John cornices on the right, steep rock sloped on the left. So left side we have a huge rock is there, and right side we have cornices. They find very difficult to move off. The ridge covered away to the right, and we have no idea where the top was. So they have to confused where is the top. As I cut around the back of one hump, another higher, one would swing into view. Time was passing, and the ridge seemed never ending because it is continuously moving, both the snow as well as a rock.